guys, and welcome back to the So Cool Brothers Racing Podcast. I'm Justice Local Racing, or the Lawman.
And I'm Colby Sokool Racing, or Little Smoke. And this is going to be a little bit of a pit stop podcast on our trip down to DuQuoin, Illinois for the Midwest Winter Nationals.
On the official day one of heading to DuQuoin, Illinois, we stopped at Ingram Machine and Tool Shop in Princeton, Indiana. Tim Engler there, he's a really nice guy. When we got there, he took us through a tour of his shop, and it was awesome because he showed us where they build all their tractor chassis and where they build all their injectors and injectors and all that stuff.
Yeah, it was just a really awesome place. They got a really great shop and really great facility, and me and Jess were really honored just to actually go there and just spend time learning about everything on our fuel injections. And when we got our cars on the dyno, Kyle, he's the one who was sitting in the car. He was working the throttle, and I was so skinny in there, my seat insert, he couldn't get in there, so we had to sit on a box and stuff. It was pretty funny, but he's just a really awesome guy, and when those two working together, they seem like they do a really awesome job. And Tim Engler, he really took us through everything he was working on. He would change a pill, and he would tell us why and tell us what would happen if we were too rich or too lean. And we just learned a whole lot that not only me and Justice can use, but also our dad and Andrew and even Mommy.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun being able to learn most about that stuff.
And here's a little clip of both me and Justice's cars on the dyno.
As you can see there in both of those clips, those are our cars on the dyno, and that guy sitting in the cockpit there was Kyle. He's an awesome guy, very enthusiastic, very funny, and it was just an honor, just like you said, to be able to learn all about those fuel injections, and especially Tim Engler showing us the dyno sheets, telling us about them and how the fuel injector works and all the pills and stuff, like you were saying.
Yeah, it was a really awesome experience, and if you guys run Ingram Machine and Tool, then I recommend you guys to go down there and get your car's dyno, because you guys can really learn a lot from that. Then we finally made it to DuQuoin, Illinois for the Midwest Winter Nationals. Both nights of racing, I ran non-wing outlaw and A-class. For night one, my non-wing outlaw heat, I started 8th and finished 5th. And in my A-class heat, I started 3rd and finished 1st. I was really excited. I was like, man, I just want to heat race here. I was doing really good because that car, my A-class car there, I thought it was a pretty good car, and I thought I was driving the car pretty good. And then because I had to go to B-main for my non-wing car, in my non-wing outlaw B-main, I started 3rd and ended up finishing 2nd. Unfortunately, that wasn't a transfer spot because I only took top 1, which didn't really make a lot of sense to me, but hey, I still had a really great run in that car for day 1. And then in my A-class A-main, I started 5th and then ended up not being able to finish the race. I was doing pretty good there, and they have a berm on the inside of the racetrack that you can either use it to your advantage or you can use it as a ramp. And I ended up using it as a ramp. I worked my way up. I was in 2nd place. I was making the pass for the lead, and I ended up hitting the berm, and I ended up using it as a ramp, fell back some positions, and I was in 4th place as a lock-in position, and then I made a mistake and unfortunately got in the last lap crash. But hey, I still had a really great night 1. Justice, how'd your night 1 go?
Oh, my night 1 went fabulous. Practice, we went out there, and I was able to learn a whole bunch about that track for the rest of that day going into day 2. In my heat race, I started 5th, and I made my way up to 2nd place, and I was on the leader's bumper, and going in on the final lap, going into turns 3 and 4, we made some contact, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to finish that heat race. But then in the A-main, I started 10th, and in the first couple laps there, I was already in the top 3. Then I got around 2nd place, and I was on the leader's bumper, and I was like, man, I might as well try a different line to see if I can get around the leader here and win this race. And I went up a groove, and I was able to get around the leader there and come out with the win on night 1. Colby, how'd your night 2 go?
My night 2 went pretty good. In my non-wing outlaw heat race, I started 6th and finished 4th. In my A-class heat race, I started 4th and finished 3rd. I had to go to B-main for my non-wing outlaw, and I started 3rd, and I was working my way up, and I was a lot faster than 1st place, but he was just out there protecting his lead, and I can understand why, because only top 2 transferred, and he didn't want anybody to pass him and lose a lot of positions, and I ended up finishing 2nd place, but I was really excited and really happy that I made it to the A-main for that car. In the A-class E-main, I started 14th, and I worked my way up all the way up to 9th place, and that track there is just really tricky. It's a 1-lane racetrack, and if you can get the top to work, then I don't know, you must have a really great race car, because everybody who tried it there, they just lost so much, and I was up there, I was in 9th place, and then the track's just so easy to overdrive a car, and I ended up overdriving it and losing a position, but I finished 10th place. And then my non-wing outlaw A-man, I started 23rd because they had 24 cars on the racetrack. I was like, man, they have a lot of cars on this racetrack, and I was up in about 19th, 17th place, and I was doing pretty good, and then I got involved in the last lap accident, but hey, I still had a really great weekend there. I finished 20th, but still had a really great weekend. I learned a lot and had a lot of fun, and I can't wait till next year's.
My night 2 went awesome also. Since from night 1, the top 4 locked into the A main of night 2, so I started on pole for the A main. In that A main, I just pulled out with the lead there, and then with a few laps to go, I made an incident with the lap car, and the second place caught up to me a little bit, but then once I got around that lap car, I was able to just pull ahead, and I was able to come out with the win. So I swept the weekend in restricted A class, and it was just a lot of fun being there at DuQuoin, Illinois for the Midwest Winter Nationals race.
And we want to thank all our sponsors and supporters and even our fans just helping us and supporting us while we were at the racetrack, and even just help us getting there with all the sponsors and everything. Our Nan and Papa for supporting us back home. Our Dad, Andrew, and Mommy for just actually getting us out there and just working on the race cars while we were there. And Justice, you did a really awesome job there, and
Thank you.
Good job, Justice. I mean,
Thank you.
I wish I could have went out there and win, but hey, you really kicked some butt there, so good job, Justice.
Thank you. You kicked a lot of butt too, and especially running in the A class, it's a lot to handle with there. And especially thank you to all our sponsors and supporters, like you were saying. And we can't do this without you guys.
Well, that track was just really awesome. You could, if you hit the berm right, I mean, it's probably not the ideal thing to do like I did, but if you could hit the berm right, you see a lot of people just pull a wheelie there, and I'm like, wow, that was just really cool. But hey, until next time,
The Lawman
and Low Smoke
out. See you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.